thought I'd visit with you this morning about the concept of micro lending. My wife and I made a trip years ago for ministry to the country of Nicaragua. It was there that we saw a lot of extreme poverty, and we were deeply impacted by it. Matter of fact, we returned from that trip right around the Christmas time, and as I watched the parking lot at the South Hill Mall in Puyallup just flood over with shoppers, people exuberantly and happily spending probably millions of dollars on Christmas gifts. Having just returned from Nicaragua and seeing the poverty, I had a hard time even, matter of fact, I didn't for over a month pull into a Starbucks for a $5 cup of coffee. Because when we saw how far a dollar could go in a poverty-stricken country, we were deeply moved. I wanted to be moved. I wanted to be impacted. I wanted the impact to last the rest of my life. Somewhere in that process, I was on another airline flight, and in the Alaska Airline magazine, I began to read a story about a concept called micro lending. It was originally initiated, from my understanding, by a man by the name of Muhammad Yunus. He was an economics professor, I believe, in Bangladesh. And he was teaching economics classes and stepping out of the college. And then as he left, he said he looked across the street. There was a woman laying on the sidewalk. She was starving to death. She was dying. And he became deeply moved by this. He began to look at the situations around him and wonder how he could help. He even communicated with some banks and asked about why banks could not lend to people who were entrepreneurial, who could start a business, but having no means at all, they were unable to do anything. The response from the bank was we don't make uncollateralized loans. In other words, because they have nothing of value to give as collateral that the loan would be paid back, we can't make loans to these people. And so Muhammad Yunus made a loan to somebody. I think he said he pulled about $37 out of his pocket, gave it to somebody as a personal loan, and encouraged that individual in their entrepreneurial effort to better their living condition. The people that he would get involved with at that point were people who maybe could just buy a chicken. A chicken would have some eggs, and they would sell the eggs in their village and community and make a profit and turn around and buy another chicken. And as time would go on, they would continue to steward over their gains and develop their business affair and continue to build it. And then they paid back their loan. Here's an interesting fact. He said the collateralized loans at the banks often fail. But he maintained, I think, higher than a 95% repayment rate from people who were unable to collateralize their loan. It was on their word. And I found this to be very interesting. Muhammad Yunus founded what's called the Grameen Bank. And so it was an institution built around the micro lending process. From that, there was a young couple that heard his teachings and started a company out of San Francisco, California, and they called it Kiva, KIVA.org. And the theme of Kiva is, with $25, you can change a person's life. And so I got involved with Kiva, and the way it presented itself is they showed you stories of people. They worked through micro lending institutions over in these third world countries, and they would present an idea to you, or a person, show you a picture, tell their story. Maybe it was a guy by the name of Pedro who wanted to repair bicycles, and he needed to make a loan of $300 to buy parts so that he could build his business bigger and faster, but just no ability to borrow from a bank or a lending institution $300. So the idea is that if I loaned 25 and then somebody else loaned 25 and then so on and so forth, other people, he would get his $300 loan. Now, he may only pay back $1.50 a month, but in time, the loan would be repaid. Now, I did this many times. Matter of fact, I think I've made over 170 or 180 loans over the past many years now. I think I deposited about $1,200, and I just keep relending it. They pay it back, I relend it, and so I've lent, I think, to the number said about 1,900 people. But what shocked me the other day that I saw on the Kiva website was that my loans, having done 180 loans or something to that effect, I was in the top 3% of people that were making loans on Kiva. Now, I want to share this with you. I want to give you the opportunity. I mentioned that I'm going to be talking more about business, and this is one of the aspects that I want to share, that a person can start with very little, and if they will steward and manage over their finances and over their gains and not take it out and spend it on ice cream cones, that something can be done, and literally lives, families, and communities can be impacted. Now, I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video to my Kiva account, so that if you sign up, it will link you to me. I think presently there's about 12 other people that are linked to me, and I think they've loaned out, I don't know, maybe $15,000 or $20,000 over time. And so please make it a consideration to get involved with Kiva. And I'll be back next time and we'll talk about some more things.